Hi everybody, and welcome to my presentation. I chose to do the organization, the Clean Air Council. The Clean Air Council's mission is a member-supported environmental serving the Mid-Atlantic region. The Council is dedicated to protecting and defending everyone's right to breathe clean air. The Council works through a broad array of related sustainability and public health initiatives using public education, community action, government oversight, and enforcement of environmental laws. On August 30th, 1967, the Delaware Valley Citizens Council for Clean Air was created. It was put together by 11 tuberculosis and health associations. In 1997, the council was recognized by the American Heritage Publishing Company, and it was one of the top 12 conservation organizations in the nation. That year was also the year of the first Earth Day, April 22nd, 1970. In 1975, the first regional air quality reporting system, called AIRS, was developed. The system was a model air quality index by the federal government, and in 1979, AIRS was merged into the Environmental Protection Agency's pollution standards and became the regional disseminator of that information. 1982 was a big year for the council. It made a big scene by successfully holding Pennsylvania in contempt of its agreement to conduct vehicle emission inspections. And it was also the same year that the council sponsored the first Run for Clean Air event, which has continued every year since 1982. In 1992, the council celebrated its 25th anniversary with a whole bunch of concerts, and local newspapers dedicated articles to them, and it really sponsored them, got their name out. In 1994, the council moved to its present location in the center city of Philadelphia and began concentrating efforts to improve the residential recycling rates. In 1998, the council legally changed its name to the Clean Air Council and began a sustainable energy education program to educate people about their ability to choose cleaner electricity suppliers. Lastly, in 2006, the council passed the smoking ban in restaurants and bars for Philadelphia, and it took them 6 years since they started in 2000 to try and ban the smoking in the bars and restaurants. The Clean Air Council wants to work towards a day when the nation is recognized for having the cleanest air and lowest carbon footprint of any major region in the United States. It would like to practice sustainable living and support strong air quality initiatives. They would like everyone who lives in the region to see their health improve as a result of the cleaner air. And they would like to be a model magnet for people and businesses who want to live and work in a thriving green economy. The council is Philadelphia's oldest environmental nonprofit organization. It was founded before Earth Day and before the modern Clean Air Act we have been fighting today to keep everyone's air clean, and that's been going on since 1967. The Clean Air Council does have a few programs, and I'll be getting into them in just a second, but they are dirt energy, clean energy, sustainable transportation, public health, climate change policy, waste and recycling, and their legal practice. The Clean Air Council believes that everyone has the right to breathe breathe clean air and live in a healthy environment, and that the right will be violated if people choose to use the dirty energy from either burning wood illegally or company fracking near schools and big office buildings. Since 2011, communities have been facing an increased number of proposed infrastructure projects, and the means to transport national gases can't handle the developed fracking, so the industry wants to develop more infrastructure, particularly on pipelines. And this is an opportunity for Pennsylvanians to have the conversation about what type of investment we want for our communities and who benefits from the increased infrastructure. Clean energy is the future, and it will hopefully replace dirty energy, but people don't know how soon exactly. The council is working really hard to make sure that wind, solar, and other renewable energies can flourish in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. When people think of renewable energy in Pennsylvania, you probably wouldn't be thinking that Erie would be one of the big places, but it is, because it has almost 50 miles of shoreline, and it's close to so many major energy-consuming cities. Transportation is the fastest growing sector in terms of greenhouse gas emissions. Today, transportation-associated programs extend not only mobile source air pollution and its health effects, but also fossil fuel consumption, greenhouse gas reduction, and land use impacts. In Philadelphia, motor vehicles account for up to 60% of the total air pollution, according to the U.S. EPA, and the Clean Air Council is working through government oversight to ensure that all planning and transportation decisions take in. Philadelphia has a few programs to help with sustainable transportation, and they are Cleaner Commute, Go Philly Go, and Feet First Philly. I like the Go Philly Go. It's an online mapping tool for Philadelphia, and it makes it easy for you to plan routes, and it shows you how to bike, walk, what transportation is best to go anywhere within the Philadelphia area. And I think that it will just really help with letting people know, like, what's the easiest way to get there without hurting the environment. Public health is really just a broad term, and it has to do with different programs that don't fit into the other programs in the Clean Air Council. And some of them are environmental justice, tobacco, Pittsburgh air pollution, and the meat industry, but there are a ton more that fall under this group. The Clean Air Council has been a leader for a long time in educating the public about smoke-free initiatives, and some of their campaigns right now focus on reducing exposure to secondhand smoke. Secondhand smoke comes from smoke breathed out by a person who smokes and the end of cigarettes burning. The effects from tobacco smoke are cancer, respiratory infections, and asthma. These harm and are not limited to first-hand smoke either. Second-hand smoke still contains over 4,000 chemicals, 200 of which are poisonous, and 69 cause cancer and other diseases. The EPA estimates that secondhand smoke causes approximately 3,000 lung cancer deaths and 37,000 heart disease deaths in non-smokers every year. The meat industry causes serious damage to the environment. Farms produce significant air pollution,
in almost every stage of their operations, starting from the feed needed for the animals. Nitrogen fertilizer used to grow the feed produces nitrous oxide, and it's a potential greenhouse gas that causes nearly 300 times more warming than CO2 and depletes the ozone layer. Manure from the animals also emits ammonia, methane, CO2, and other pollutants. The total UN has estimated that the meat industry generates 18% of all global greenhouse gas emissions. Climate change policy. Pollution regulations are one of the most important tools available for fighting climate change, and the Clean Air Council is fighting currently for strong regulations on CO2 and methane at the both state and national level. These pollutants make up over 90% of America's greenhouse gas emissions, and surprisingly enough, Pennsylvania is responsible for a full 1% of the world's greenhouse gases. And this gives Pennsylvania a greater obligation to make meaningful cuts to the emissions through stronger regulations. Waste and recycling. Reducing waste is the most cost-effective way to protect the environment, and all you have to do is little things like bring your own bags, use single bags that can be reusable. One of the major problems is idling motor vehicles. It's illegal and unnecessary air pollution in America. If you walk down any street in any city, you'll likely see at least one idling vehicle. And cities as large as Philadelphia, it becomes a major problem, especially for delivery trucks and bigger city vehicles. It doesn't have a lot of room for the air to flow out of the city. Legal practice. Over the years, the Clean Air Act Council's legal team has had the opportunity to represent the organization in a lot of interesting court cases. The council's legal practice ranges from appeals of air permits to pipeline and zoning challenges at state constitutional claims. Below are some of the cases that the Clean Air Council has had over the years. Thank you for listening, and here are my sources.